All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our next match of the evening. You're currently watching the WePlay.tv Dota 2 League, and we are in the thick of things in Group G. There are a total of 8 groups, so we're in group number 7, if you want to look at it that way. I'm LD, of course. I'm joined here today by Fear, and we're going to be casting Dignitas versus 3D Max. We just got done seeing Roxkiss pretty much dismantle Natalic EU. Natalic EU, 1 game off of elimination. Roxkiss 1 game away from first place, but they're going to have to go through the winner of this series. Who will it be? Dignitas, probably the favorite, but of course 3D Max, a pretty solid Tier 2 team in the European scene, so we'll see what they can do. With that being said, Fear, welcome aboard. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yep, didn't want to miss this game. I love watching like all of Dignitas games, all the top American teams. I enjoy watching their games because I play with them so frequently. But 3D Max is also another great team. I think they're from Denmark. If all of them are from Denmark now, I think they made roster changes. I'm not completely sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they currently are. I know they used to be, though. They were all Danish at one point, and so I guess Milk maybe has a special place in his heart for them. But
yeah, I know he talks to them and he watches their games from time to time, like his scrims, that is, like as an observer.
Pretty strong opening from Dignitas here. Lone Druid, Magnus Gyrocopter, a lot of crowd control, a lot of damage, and some strong lanes. Albeit they already have their 3 cores, so I imagine we're going to see a lot of support bans here in Phase 2. Well, I say that, I guess it could be support Gyro nowadays, but I'm not a big fan of that personally.
But it's possible. But there's really just kind of like a more American picks. American teams in particular, like seems to be the trend with us, is we don't like to get out late gamed, and we like to have a backup plan for mid game with as far as carries go. So we're picking a lot of dual carries, I noticed, in a lot of our strategies.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because if you look at like a lot of the Chinese teams or the Southeast Asia ones, so IG will kind of pick this way. They love to get like Lone Druid, Magnus, and Lifestealer, which is, I think, one of the strongest openings in the game period right now. But I think it seems to win like every game I cast. But a lot of the Southeast Asian teams, they'll favor things like Shadow Demon, Lina, like these strong dual roaming compositions, but not what we're seeing at all from these teams.
Right. 3D Max has the Nature's Prophet Lifestealer. You can do some cute stuff with that. They have Rubik as well, which he's got some good spells to steal. Rubik's always good against Magnus, because if you do manage to get a Blink Dagger up on Rubik at some point during the game, if it does drag out that late and it is a close game, you can actually turn the fight single-handedly with a support hero, because all of a sudden your support hero has RP, and that's pretty huge. And you have a Blink Dagger, easy to follow up with. Gyro has some cool spells you can steal as well. Early game Rocket Barrage, if you steal that, you do a ton of damage. You can roam around the map and get a lot of kills with that. Stealing his Call Down in team fights is also very, very big. The rest of the spells aren't so great, but they do something at least.
Yeah, Lone Druid, not so useful to steal his spells. Yeah. Spirit Bear's all right, I guess, but
nah,
it's not even then. You don't get the items, so.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what 3D Max goes for the rest of the way, but looking at their lineup, it seems like they are really going to want to kind of spread the map and find pickoffs through the mid game. And if Prophet goes for that early Orchid, we see the Orchid Shadowblade build quite a bit nowadays. I think it could work with the Lifestealer inside of him. Maybe you get the quick, either the phase drums or into the armlet, and then going towards something like the Basher. I mean, they have the pickoff potential. And you mentioned Rubik being good against Magnus. The lift is also fantastic versus him. If he ever tries to skewer in or even blink in, and you're really quick on the reactions, you can just lift him, disrupt that combo, and less so with the blink, more so with the skewer. But even so, I mean, a great hero to do with Magnus just in that sense. And of course, like you said, if you steal the RP, it's fantastic.
Yeah, more times than not, I see Nature's Prophet. Like, just the build seems to be just Midas Shadowblade. I see it every game.
Well, it makes the pub player inside of me very happy to see that build, but I don't know how effective it is. Some games it works, but it feels like those games tend to be sloppy and dragged out a lot in most cases.
I mean, it depends. It's versus the teams you're playing against. If teams are really concentrated on moving together, it's pretty much like when you play against the Clinks, it puts that fear into a lot of people. Like, oh, there's a Shadow Blade, have to be careful, you have to buy extra support items, which really sacks supports. So in that sense, it is pretty good. The downside is if they do run together and have a nice 5-man lineup like Dignitas currently has, the Shadow Blade doesn't really offer you much.
And, I mean, they do have a really nice 5-man lineup. Like you said, tons of damage. They've got the tanky frontline heroes, the Lone Druid, and to a lesser extent the Magnus. But 3D Max respond with Alina, so a very strong tri-lane. If they want to go aggressive, they could. Dignitas doesn't have anyone like Keeper who well, Keeper's actually... No, he's banned, excuse me. But so they could go aggressive. They certainly don't have to. They can run the defensive tri-lane. They can even run the lifestealer. Just give him some early support, maybe look to kill the lone druid once or twice, and they could do some smoke ganks towards mid on the Magnus, depending on who their solo mid is. And we saw that last game. Smoke ganking a Magnus early is a very effective way to shut him down, especially if you have a strong lane controller, someone who can have the advantage with a, it's basically snowball with a slight lead. And, well, I guess the question for 3D Max is going to be, who's that solo mid right now?
Yeah, I was going to say they could go aggressive, but it's really, really risky doing it against a gyrocopter, because if you get out position versus a gyro, that's just the way, a rocket barrage works. You die straight up, in a few seconds.
Yeah. It seems like Dignitas is kind of inviting it with the Shadow Shaman
pick,
though.
but then they pick up the Shadow Shaman, so they're getting really greedy with their support pick right now. Like, Shadow Shaman's a greedy support pick because his early game tools are not very good. He's a hero that scales later, and around level 6 he starts getting really good when he gets the Serpent Wards, but his tool set early is not that great. Sure, Shackle is long, it lasts for a while, but it is very easy to interrupt a Shackle, and his other spells are not that great through laning phase.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe Dignitas is looking to invite this from 3D Max and has some sort of plan to deal with it, but they have to know that this is a potential vulnerability in the lineup, so I guess we'll see what they do. 3D Max, who's that solo mid going to be? Queen of Pain, we saw really dominates Magnus. Is there anyone left in the pool that you look at and say, this hero can crush that mid lane and also add a lot to the team later on?
Well, I don't even know what's going mid for Dignitas at this point. I'm thinking Gyro might be going.
Really?
Knowing this team particularly, I never see Aoi go off lane, and he's their bear player. I don't remember the last time I've seen Aoi just go straight up off lane with a Syllabear for this team.
So you're thinking it'll be a Gyro mid, a Mag off laner jungling, and then a lone druid safe lane?
Universe is probably playing this Magnus, which means it's either a safe lane Mag or an off lane Mag, in my opinion. And then lone druid could be getting supported top or solo top, and I don't know. It's gonna be really weird. I think Gyro's gonna have to be going mid because Fogged plays that for this team, from what I've seen. Unless I don't know. I'm pretty sure the lanes are going to be Lone Druid's going to be on top, Gyro's mid, and Magnus is going to be... Or they're Dire, aren't they?
Yeah, they're Dire.
Well,
it
Magnus
feels like
off lane, Gyro mid.
It feels like, especially with the Shadow Shaman pick, it really makes the lanes a bit awkward because you really don't want to go aggressive with Shadow Shaman, so they don't have the option of doing that with something like the Gyro. Obviously, Mag and Lone Druid aren't that great in an offensive tri-lane, and, well... We'll have to see how they lane it, but Brewmaster, the choice from 3D Max, such a good hero against Lone Druid, a nice hero against Magnus, can actually do quite well in the lane. Clap is just a bitch to lane against, and Earthshaker the final pick.
Yeah, super defensive hero. They needed something like that. The thing is, they have the Furion too, so they can... Universe is playing the Gyro. Are they going aggressive? They could. I don't know.
You think with Earthshaker, Shadow Summon, Gyro?
It's possible, but I really doubt it. I don't know. I'm really confused with Dignitas right now. They switched everything around. Because Fog is usually their mid player, so this could be a midder. I don't know. Snake King is here too. Didn't they? Actually, they're not. They don't have Wait Tides of Time, do they?
Yeah, I think Snake King's been standing in for them recently.
Oh, that's gonna mess with their roles quite a bit, then, isn't it?
I guess so.
Snake King's their solo player.
Yeah, so we'll see. It looks like he will be taking one of those solo roles as the Magnuson. I mean, maybe they do go aggressive tri-lane. Gyro is actually pretty strong against Lifesteal in the laning stage.
Suicide, though, honestly, because they have a Nature's Prophet, too.
That's true. I mean, it's very risky, but I don't know what else you do. I mean, I guess you could just basically abandon the off lane and have Mag kind of jungling.
I mean, the best thing they can do is put Syllabear on the off lane, assuming they're going to aggressive tri-lane with the Lifestealer, which it's you kind of expect it, because they have great heroes to aggressive tri-lane with, and they have the Nature's Prophet, so... And you kind of have, this mediocre supports kind of defending the lane. And sure, they can be really defensive with the Earthshaker, and the Shadow Shaman has a decent set of abilities if you get caught out of position, but it's not the hardest thing to do to go aggressive tri-lane against this. Especially if you have the Nature's Prophet, you can turn into, a 4v3 very quickly.
Yeah, so I guess if we sort of dismiss that premise of Aoi taking the safe lane farm on the Lone Druid, then... I mean, that opens up the more natural way to lane it, like you said, which is the Lone Druid off lane. And I mean, what I would have expected just looking at the draft and not knowing the team's style, but we'll see what they go for. It looks like he may be heading off lane. He has been pulled some tangos off the bat by Way Too Sexy, so we'll see. He looks like he's heading towards the bottom side of the map, though.
With that item build, he's definitely, in my opinion, going off lane, because he's got his bear kind of tanked up and has being pulled tangos. He's going to try pulling the creep wave around. And if you have more armor on your bear, obviously it's easier to do. I know Admiral Bulldog, he used to go 4-man shield on this bear, because supports always try to harass your bear. This is kind of more like a cost-effective way to do it, I suppose.
Yeah, because, I mean, of course, you get towards the Tranquil Boots, but you also get to give it a little extra durability in the lane. So, well, we have a bit of a pause, guys, so with that being said, we're going to quickly introduce the teams, and if we still have time, we'll talk more about the format for the We Play Dota 2 League. So, Owie 2000 going to be on that Lone Druid. Looks like he's headed off lane, way too sexy on the Earthshaker. He'll probably be defensive tri-laning. And it's actually Fogged who's on the Shadow Shaman now, not playing the mid role. He'll be playing a support from the looks of things. Been switched over because we have Snake King playing the mag and probably going mid.
Yeah, he was definitely going on. He has the bottle build.
And then Universe going to be the safe lane Gyro.
Yeah, they're definitely expecting an aggressive tri-lane, so they're going to throw the Gyro in that scenario, because Gyro is really good versus aggressive tri-lanes. The Rocket Barrage and then the Flat Cannon all do AoE damage. And against 3 heroes, that's just the best thing to have.
And even though you have a Shadow Shaman, which is very weak in that situation, like you said, Gyro's strong. An Earthshaker, if he's in the right position, can pretty much shut down the aggression. Or he can get his teammates killed. I mean, it does depend on the Fissure placement, but hopefully it'll be solid for him. Over on the other side, we've got the Danes. Hesta Joe Rotten on his Brewmaster going mid, so it will be that Brew on Mag, Fiesta mid lane. Noaya going to be playing the Lifestealer. They're smoking up off the bat. And we have Hawaii 00 on the Lena. Hip Hop Not Pop going to be playing the Rubik. And last but not least, Buller on the Prophet. And it looks like they want to find that first blood right off the bat and get this tri-lane off to a great start. And, I mean, if anyone gets caught by this, they are royally screwed. This is a pretty strong level 1 lineup.
Yeah, it really is. They have, the one thing they do have, they got decent level 1 on Dignitas too, but if they get the jump with the Radiant lineup, one hero's going to die. And Snake King, skill skewer.
Oh no. Even if he skills it, will it be enough? There's a clap as well. He's looking for the skewer to the high ground. Won't even get it. Well played by 3D Max, and I mean, a bit unlucky for Snake King, gotta say. We don't see many level 1 smoke ganks nowadays. It used to be something that happened a lot, but not so common anymore. And, well, it works out there.
That really hurts mid lane, because we have a bottle already with 200 gold up on the Brewmaster. He claimed the first blood, so... Oh, he actually went Bracer. That's not a bottle. That's... whatever. That's still good, too. More stats. And then he still has 250 in the bank, so he'll get his bottle up in no time. And that sets... I didn't really touch Snake King's gold that much, honestly, but it gave a lot of gold to the Panda.
And it's a matchup where the Brewmaster can kind of bully the Magnus as well. Once he gets the evasion, you can trade hits pretty effectively. And with the early bottle, he's going to have the advantage.
With that early Bracer, he has a huge advantage, too.
Yeah, the early Bracer, and then we'll probably see the bottle come out next. He has a little bit more damage, too. He's actually 9 damage ahead of this Mag. Looking for a clap, he'll get 2 creeps, and throwing out the auto attacks. It gets hard from here for our poor Mag. Snake King not going to have a good start top lane. They go in on Universe, but the defensive Fissure is perfect. They still lift him back. I don't know if they want to fight this one. The stun completely with Hawaii 00, and here comes the potential turnaround. Nope, not going to happen. But that is not a good way to start your aggression in the tri-lane. I'm surprised they went.
Very surprising as well, because, right, the thing, Lifestealer is actually not bad versus Gyrocopter, but he needs that rage. Or else what's going to happen is going to happen every single time. He's going to get that Rocket Barrage to the face, and he's going to lose like 80% of his HP.
Oh, my mouse freaking out. We're seeing a bit of dewarding here currently, and I hear a lift as well, but it's just Universe being thrown around. So they get the camp dewarded. They're going to actually get a pull off as well. And, I mean, despite getting the first blood, it was on the solo mid, so the question is Hesta Rotten punishing that? Pretty even start, all things considered, for Snake King. He will have his own bottle on the way, and... Well, there's a Bracer up on Hesta Rotten, but otherwise mid lane dead even.
Yeah, and it should be noted that if this start is even and the game is really passive, that really favors Dignitas a lot.
And, I mean, are you just saying that because their 5-man is way stronger in the mid game?
Well, I say that because the later this goes on to early game where it's passive, this Lone Druid's going to free farm versus the Nature's Prophet. That's just the nature of the matchup. Nature's Prophet does not do well versus Lone Druid. And if Gyro's just getting his farm up here, like getting decent farm up here, and not dying, then they're going to be getting farm on both their lanes. And yes, and as the game gets later on, I feel like Dignitas has a much better lineup to go late game and take team fights with.
The one thing 30 Max will have is that +1 with the Prophet TPing in top, and I mean, potentially could be tide turning. This early on, we should see tangos on all the supports in the tri-lane, and all the heroes on the tri-lane, we do, but I mean, even just the extra auto attack often enough to, and if they get the early kills, they can get the tower with the treants, and just a lot of nukes to clear out the creep wave, but I'm not sure how many kills 3D Max is going to find, because already we see level 2 in the Shadow Shaman, they've de-warded successfully, and 3D Max actually have no wards left, so they're not going to really have any idea what they're jumping into if they go on Dignitas.
Yeah, they have a lineup that's really designed around doing super well early game and snowballing. Like,
which is why we saw them smoke gank earlier.
Right, yeah, right. And like I said with the Lifestealer, this is one thing I don't like, and this is one thing that you never see American teams do, because we've played with so much Lifestealer, it's ridiculous. Every in-house league, there's a Lifestealer in it. Every pub game, there's a Lifestealer in it. It's just getting out of hand, honestly. But using Lifestealer as your primary carry falls off huge into the late game, especially against dual carry like Dignitas has.
And I mean, it's kind of disgusting, honestly. There's so much Lifestealer play at the high level games right now. Yeah, like every game, it's that damn phase drums build, the race car, the FNC/fear build. I know there's some disputes over the origins, but
the YYF build is when you throw the Sange and Yasha in there.
Yeah, that's your hardcore race car. And the winter build is that plus the Yule Scepter, just because he wants to be constantly 522. But
well, here's my thoughts on that. Like, the race car build is good if you're playing like dual carry Nyx. Like, if you look at IG when they run it, it's YYF playing this race car Nyx, and he's creating space for his team while Joe is the one farming. So if you want to go the race car build, then I think it's perfectly fine to do that build and create a lot of space for your team. But if you're the carry Lifestealer, I'd much rather see, the traditional Midas, Treads, Desolator, Abyssal Blade build.
Right, basically relying on your team to lock them down and just doing as much damage as you can during rage.
Otherwise, you're not going to have the damage, so... because you're the only physical damage, so I really hate seeing that race car build as the one Lifestealer.
Well, this game they have a Prophet, so it pretty much is a one-position Lifestealer. They don't really have another hard carry, and
I mean, Prophet has the chance to get a lot of items and get out of control. Don't get me wrong, he does have that capability. I'm not going to say it's rare, but it just doesn't happen too often, I guess, where he just gets out of control and then Prophet's the one hero that you're like, oh my god, we have to shut this guy down because he just does way too much damage.
Yeah, he can, but like he just needs so many more items than other heroes. Like a Lone Druid, you got your Phase, your Maelstrom, and I mean the Hyperstone, he's heading like a truck. Prophet's going to need probably the Shadow Blade, the Orchid, the Treads, and then another item before he really hurts in the fight, so... It's possible, and the other thing is, of course, he's squishy as all hell, so we'll see.
Yeah, he needs a lot of items. It's not unheard of, but it's just something you don't rely on when you're doing your draft.
So we have a prolonged pause. Unfortunately, these have been really common as of late, but with the early First Blood going the way of 3D Max, they're sitting on about a 500 gold lead, so basically just the First Blood. It hasn't really amounted into... a big advantage mid, though. Snake King's got his bottle. He should be able to bottle Crow freely, as Owie's not going to need that. And the defensive tri-lane should be able to use the side shop when the pulls are pushing. So, I mean, I'm not sure that First Blood is actually going to turn into a huge difference. It seems like, I mean, off the bat, Snake King's actually pretty much even or even leading in farm.
Yeah, it's pretty much even because he has a creep wave hitting tower right now for Panda, where he could actually pull ahead in CS if he gets all this to the tower, but it's nothing really worth noting too much. And then on bottom lane we have Owie's going against Nature's Prophet. It's only going to get harder for Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet does well at the early levels because treants don't really scale that well compared to the bear.
Yeah, once he gets entangled, it's just not a fair fight.
Yeah, right. And then once you get points up and your synergy and your bear gets higher level, does more damage, it just gets worse. I mean, Prophet does decent at level 1, but it's a downhill battle from there. Uphill battle for the Prophet, downhill for the bear.
Somebody's going down a hill. That's all we really know here. So they're contesting this pull. They actually have one sentry on the Lina. They'll deward the enemy sentry, and I think there's still one on Fog. There is. So we're going to see one more deward, and then 3D Max, fresh out of wards. Fog just waiting for the opening to place it. He says, way too sexy. Get back here. We need to get rid of this thing. Looks like it should be happening soon, and With that, 3D Max, they're going to have to rely on doing some pulls of their own because they won't actually have any vision. Mid lane, double damage picked up from Snake King. So a lane that was going well for Hestajo Rotten, now going to get significantly harder for him. And bottom lane, it's Aoi just starting to really dominate this lane in terms of harassment, driving Buller quite far back. Double damage up on Snake King. Not actually going for a skewer just yet, but something Hestajo Rotten really has to be careful about.
Yeah, but with that clap, you can actually fight a double damage Magnus because it slows attack speed. So it would have been much more devastating if the Panda got the DD, that's for sure.
Yeah, he might even, like, if the mag skewers away but actually pulls the Panda with him, he may die anyway, so, I mean, kind of a scary situation, but not gonna happen. And Aoi's really starting to exert his dominance bottom lane. CS not that far ahead, but the bear is just driving Buller off. He's still got to resummon. Tri-lane, haven't really seen the potential of 3D Max's lineup yet. They don't have the vision of the pulls. Prophet hasn't joined the fights yet, but I imagine they'll look to do it over the next 2 or 3 minutes or so.
I'd like to see them start creating some chaos. That way the Nature's Prophet can... He needs to be really active on that top lane, or else he's not going to be getting much on this bottom lane. But the problem is the Earthshaker up here is... Oh, they're going to try to make something happen over here.
Yeah.
But as you can see, Earthshaker, he's just like... He's a showstopper.
Uh-oh. Noaya has to be careful not to get shackled here with the creeps and the rocket barrage coming. Missile hit on Hawaii. There's your open wounds and your raid. Prophet, is he going to TP in? Yes, he is. He joins the fight, but he runs right into... Actually dodges the rocket barrage. Really nicely played, and now looking for a chase on Universe. But another Fissure, once again catching 3 by Way Too Sexy, will blunt any further aggression. They get the kill, but now they're going to give Aoi some free farm bottom, and... well, at least they're contesting the pull, so they started to create a little bit of chaos. Not sure if it's enough just yet, though.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet wasn't needed at all there. Like, Fogged went in there and just kind of threw his life away, to be honest. He needs to be positioned a little better for that, because he just went up, like, oh, you know, they went, we can go, I can go shackle someone, but no, you don't lead with the Shadow Shaman. It's way too squishy, he gets blown up, so I doubt he's going to be making that mistake again.
And we're going to see a TP back to the bottom lane, but Aoi already doing significant damage, structural damage to this tower. It's taking about 400, in fact, and, well, they've given Aoi some space. He's getting close. He's already got level 5, in fact. Now we have to be worried about entangles, forcing Buller back to the fountain in a matter of seconds. Hestajo Rotten, 21-4, barely staying even with Snake King, and actually taking more harassment, it seems, as we see an Illusion Rune. Just going to go top and maybe look to disrupt the Radiant pulling. Nope, just going to sit the rune for the moment.
Yeah, this is why I'm kind of saying, you know, early game, if it stays passive, it's definitely going to favor Dignitas, because every time this Furon leaves and doesn't accomplish something, this is free room for Aoi, you know, to get farm on this bear. And if he gets big early, you can bet that they're just going to run around as 5 and take all the outer towers.
And now Aoi's just farming the treants. It's like they don't, if the bear does not even care about them. Panda's not afraid of Little Tree Man, apparently, and now he's going to start driving this Prophet off the lane. The tri-lane currently pushed for Dignitas.
He's diving, and if he gets a root here, he might get him.
Aoi's in a little bit of trouble too, but he'll go inside his ultimate form. Now the chase continues, looking for the tower dive. Not going to commit to it just yet.
That's a sad bear. He didn't get in a single entangle out of like 6 or 7 hits.
Yeah, the RNG not strong with this one, but it's okay. He's still, I mean, he's really bullying the Prophet at this point, and both solo lanes going well, in fact. Mid lane even, but considering the start the Panda had, something Dignitas will be very happy with. And I'm not sure... You said they need to... I mean, they have a strong smoke ganking combo as well with the Rubik and Lena, but they haven't even tried to leave the lane yet. They've just been staying top. I wonder if they maybe should have gone for Snaking a bit earlier.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a smoke gank on Snaking. That would have been really good for them. Or just any bottom lane. That's a dive.
Wow, Aoi manning up, but Panda's going to be here. Buller may live as well. There is no Panda ult. Aoi, tanky as all get out. There's your root. Finally gets it. Aoi on the run. There is no mana for a clap, but one auto tech does the trick. So Aoi dives as the offlaner, gets the kill, trades with his life, but forces Panda off the lane. Q for Snake King to start pushing mid.
Yeah, that's not worth it for Aoi. He's a little overconfident there, taking an advantage to an extreme.
Thinking he'll get a root a little sooner, I imagine. His root luck has not really been there.
Yeah, guess so. That's still an interesting place to be in 7 minutes or 6 minutes in the game.
Casually parked behind the enemy tier 1 with Panda having a TP.
Right.
Not something you see every day. Buller says, I want to go mid. I don't want to lane against that lone druid for the moment, and someone's going to have to, because Panda's here as well. Top lane. Maybe we're going to see a go momentarily. Way Too Sexy's a bit far out. Now they're going to start with the open wounds on him. Fogged in the back lines. Fissure not available. Oh, way too sexy. Way out of position there. And now Fog, the next in line, may fall here. There's your Hex. TPing coming for the mag. Snake King looking for the turnaround. Skewers through the trees. In range for the RP. Catches two. Shockwave to fly as well. And the both supports to full. And Panda, nowhere to be found. He's just arrived, but the damage has already been done. And I don't know if they can find the turnaround. Open Wounds is here. Maybe they can. Looking for the clap on Fogged, I imagine. Not going Universe, but they still have the Panda ult. So they get the easy kill. They get out. Panda ult's still up. Is it time to go push? It's no RP. Panda ult online.
Oh, he has mana boots too to give mana to the Lifestealer. So yeah, they can. Prophet's actually pressuring mid, and Earthshaker's not there. So yeah, they should go for this top tower. They're gonna probably lose bottom though if they're not careful. No, Prophet's actually going there to defend.
Yeah, it's worth noting he did throw his ultimate into that fight as well, which did some additional damage. And I mean, even if you're not TPing, you could still provide a little bit extra to those clashes. All things.
It's actually a lot. In an early game, Prophet's ult does a lot of damage in these early fights, especially when you're doing a tri-lane and your supports are under-leveled.
Yeah, and especially when they're heroes like Shadow Shaman, who are very, very squishy.
Yeah, a good Prophet ult can take off half his HP easy early game.
So, Dignitas, they get the kills, but the tower falls. I still think, so far, pretty even start to the game, but gold-wise, we're seeing about a 2,000 gold lead. Experience-wise, actually favoring Dignitas. I would like to see 3D Max really abuse the fact that they have that Panda ult online. There's a haste up on Snake King. But maybe they can go for the kill. They've smoked up after the tier 1 top and looking for some aggression mid. Can they find the opening? If Earthshaker gets caught, he is not long for this world. Oh no, there's a haste on him. If they want to go for this mag, they got to bring him down immediately. Hip hop, no pop. In the middle of the creep wave, gets skewered back into the tower by Snake King. The stun to fly will not connect. The shockwave getting the kill. Oh boy, they really underestimated the power of that haste rune.
Yeah. The sidestep was not strong in that Rubik there.
Who knew Magnus was actually Barry Sanders? Certainly not me. doesn't really bear much resemblance, but it's his second form, I suppose.
I find it interesting that Aoi is going for the double boots builds. It's not horrible, but it sets you back in income a lot, especially if you want to go a big hitter item like a Radiance. Oh, mid lane actually. Okay, he got RP'd. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Hopefully you did.
I caught his corpse hitting the deck, so I was checking Aoi to see his double boots build, but sorry about that, guys. Our first miskill of the game. We'll try to keep those to a bare minimum. But yeah, I mean, we still haven't seen a Panda ult this game. He's been solo mid. He's had level 6 for a while. They got the tier 1 top off of it, but dies mid, I imagine, just got chain stun after the RP, and they've got a lot of disable.
RP'd, fissured, and shackled, and he was done. Toast. He didn't even need the shackle, probably just the lightning.
I feel like they should have been forcing the fights a bit more. Like, maybe even go for the tier 2 top. I guess they wanted to when they smoked mid, but I mean, that Panda ult, he's had time to use it and have it cool down once, and still haven't actually seen it.
It's kind of hard to push, though. Like, split pushing's easy. If you get a kill and whatnot, that's great. You can push. But against an Earthshaker and a Magnus, they're just going to clear the creep waves with just one nuke. And they're going to do it, like, in any position they want to.
Well, if they're not pushing, I wonder what they're doing, and so
they're
far...
looking for pickoffs. That's what their next goal will be. Lifestealer went for the drums. He has treads, so this is like an unusual build. I've only seen Burning do this, actually.
I've actually... I don't know if I've seen... I probably have seen this build, but don't recall it off the top of my head.
Burning did this in G League at some type of group stage.
Yeah, I don't really think that the Lifestealer is his hero, to be totally honest, but... We'll see what... I haven't seen DK play in a while, though, so I'm interested to see how they do in G1, as we have that Phase 3 coming up soon. But here goes the pressure mid. They have the Panda ult. There is an RP in 18 seconds. Is Snake King going to strike again and deny this Brewmaster once more? Prophet forced the TP top. They got the tier 1 top, but there's just been no pressure on that lane since then. So Universe pushes the lane out to the enemy tower, not even worried about getting ganked. I mean, normally when you get that tier 1, you really want to get 2 towers, or at least put some aggressive wards up and try to gank if the hero's just farming by himself.
Fogged is de-warding over here. He might pay for this.
I'm not sure how used Fogged is to playing the support role as he gets thrown back in, just casually going to ward. I mean, of all heroes, it's just Shadow Shaman, like the easiest support in the game to gank.
Yeah, well, he actually, he's known for playing mid for them, but he actually has played support occasionally for them on random occurrences, so...
So no excuses for you, Fogged.
He has no excuse, for sure.
Fear is calling you out as the rune spawns bottom. Haste rune. Well, I mean, we saw the positioning in top lane as well earlier, where, I mean, He's played it before, but maybe just not quite feeling it today anyway.
Yeah.
It's not a good vibe for Fogged. He's not liking it.
He's had a couple questionable plays this game, but yeah.
It still seems like
6 though. So once they get 6, I'm sure they're gonna go for some towers on their own.
They may go for an RP here. They will. Oh no, not again, Hesta Joe Rotten. 12 minutes in, still no Panda ult, and the RP is just being used like clockwork. And now the wards will fly mid, looking to push the tier 1. Simultaneously, the push coming top. And I thought 3D Max had the strong kind of split pushing lineup, but Dignitas really strutting their stuff in the mid game. Noaya trying to trade bottom, but well, the ward's actually getting farmed, so not quite enough follow up in the end.
That was a huge waste of wards as well. Like, they just at the tower, and maybe he didn't expect the supports to be there and pull the creep aggro off the tower. And they ended up just farming it at tower, so they're gonna have to wait for just a couple minutes, or just another minute or so, and they'll probably go again. They need to go with the bear and with the Shadow Shaman, because the bear can tank the tower, and the Shadow Shaman's wards can kill the tower. Well, they both can kill the tower, but it's just pretty much a really, really good combo.
Yeah, and I mean, those wards are basically gigantic money bags, just like the I think the only thing they're surpassed by is the Visage Birds, which are just total food in the mid-game in a lot of cases, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Hesta Joe Rotten still searching for that first Panda ult of the game. Meanwhile, Magnus blink up. He's actually rushed it, has not... oh no, has rushed it, sorry, he does have the Arcane Boots.
Yeah. That's a pretty... Yeah, every time he has RP up, he's gotten 3 RPs this game, I do believe.
Yeah, that's
Whereas
correct.
they haven't had any, like, Panda ults because they're not taking any fights. They're just waiting to get picked off and farming.
Which is kind of
afraid to push, yeah.
When you watch a lot of other teams that run the Panda, it's like as soon as he gets 6, they go and fight, and we haven't really seen that from Hesta Joe Rotten. He's, like you said, just farming.
I think the problem with them is they're not finding an opening to push because the lineup that Dignitas has, they have so much spam, it's very difficult to push a tower. But Earthshaker there, and then they have the shock from the Shadow Shaman, and then you have the shock wave from the Magnus. No wave can stand through that, and they have nothing that can really tank the towers.
Oh no, Universe smoke gank all the way, but he's got the phase and he spots it at the perfect moment. They will look to go in way too sexy. Here comes the call down, not actually going to hit anyone. Up, just clips the Lina. She's in trouble. She's on the run. Now the missile to hit the Rubik as well. And here comes our Shadow Shaman. Actually, it looks like his TP was canceled in the end. Decides not to go.
Yeah, he was really close anyway, so...
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, that telekinesis was pretty much really, really good, because if he didn't get that telekinesis off, the Earthshaker would have got a double fissure on top of a gyro, and that would have been 2 dead supports. So at least they were able to salvage that.
I thought they were both going to die there, to be totally honest, but the lift came.
It was really good telekinesis on the Earthshaker there.
Mid lane, onto Hesta Joe Rotten. Earlier we saw a Blink Skewer not quite connecting. And we were Prophet able to live in the end, but the bottom tower, actually sorry, the mid tower gets denied. Now they smoke towards the bottom lane. Snakeking's going to lead the charge. He still has RP because he missed that opening earlier, but may work out well for him in the end as, oh god, here comes the pain train from the back lines. If Rubik can steal RP, maybe they can turn this around, but Blink RP will catch 2. Hop, Pip Up, no pop, will steal it, lifts the mag, but Lifestealer's still alive, goes down before he can even throw out the RP. Noaya TP's way to safety. Wow, that's a lot of damage.
And even he actually didn't even get RP, he got Shockwave, but even if he did get it, it wouldn't have mattered. He's just way too squishy. He can't walk into the AoE of a Gyrocopter.
And Universe now has a Shadow Blade, and that's going to put additional pressure on a lot of heroes on 3D Max's side. They're going to need a gem soon. They're going to need some sentries at the very least, and... Uh-oh. Now we find a solo kill top lane on Buller, who went back for the Midas. I mean, you really gave the mid-game, the late game, heavily to Dignitas. I don't think anyone would dispute that based on the heroes, and the early game just wasn't quite there. 3D Max now finds themselves in a big hole.
Yeah, they definitely do. How's Panda's Blink looking like? He's almost got Blink. That's going to be huge. Blink in 11, actually, is almost up for this Panda.
Are we going to see a Panda ult this game? 17 minutes in. Still no Panda ults.
His supports aren't really smoking, or he should be smoking with his supports looking for kills, but oh, there's a Lothar's up, and that's one dead Lina.
Easiest kill of Universe's life. Uh-oh, here's a Hex. Can they burst him down? No, they're just gonna run. Clap will hit on Fog. Is he gonna blow the Panda ult for this? He will not. Doesn't need to. Universe now on the run. That Shadow Blade, I mean, lose the Shadow Shaman there trading supports, but now that's gonna put the pressure. And while that's happening, Aoi just benefiting from that space that's been created, just farming away freely top. He has up to 20 900 gold, so maybe is going to go back for the Radiance. Normally when you see the Phase Boots build, you see Maelstrom, but with the kind of farm he's getting, why not?
Yeah, I mean, he could still go for the Maelstrom if he wants to. Like, he literally just has it if he wants to go buy it, but he might save up as well. Who knows? We'll see. Most likely if he's going to save up this much, he's probably going to Radiance, which isn't a bad item. I don't really like it versus Lifestealer too much, but...
Yeah, the bear will be really squishy. We'll see. Uh-oh. Mag thinking about a Blink RP, but with the Panda ult online, they don't want to take a fight.
And he's 11 now as well, so that's actually pretty big. And they're infesting now. They want to do something. They want to get something done.
There's no vision of this. He's looking for the Blade Clap. He catches two. Pops out. They don't have detection, I don't think, for that Gyrocopter. Nothing I can see. They get the Earthshaker. Panda ult deployed for just one, and now Snake ain't just going to hoof it out of there. Well, they got Earthshaker. He's even got buyback if they want to use it. Looking for Universe. Diving for a Cyclone. I think you want to back off just a little bit here. He will. No, he's manning up. He's going to get zapped. No, nothing else to follow up. Well, they got the kill. They're going to get the tier 2, so I suppose a decent trade in the end.
But in middle.
Hold down. Big RP catches 3. Skewered away. Into trouble. The wards were dropped directly on top of it, but the damage from this Lina might just be enough to turn the fight. Oh man, Fogged is getting mauled apart by this Leicester. There will be a nuke. The stun is there. Double for the Lina. Way too sexy rejoins the fight. Imagine if he had been there for that. Would have probably been a team wipe. Instead, an even 3 for 3.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they just kill the Earthshaker?
Yeah, well,
that fight, so
I guess it's a 4 for 3. Yeah, if he had died, could have been a much different fight, but yeah.
If he didn't, just get infested and Panda ulted, just
hated upon.
Yeah.
I guess the good news is they were fighting 4v5. Ali's just farming. He's got the relic. It looks like he will be going for it.
Yeah, he definitely is going for a relic, saving up this much money.
Well, it could always be a Dagon 5, you never know. But even then, could have bought the Dagon at that, so...
Dagon 5 bear.
Man, I remember the good old days of Warcraft 3, where if you got really fat, you just start stacking your crow. Get at the Bloodstone, get at the Dagon 5, and just have basically a mini second hero go around tasering people.
Back when games were like 3 hours long.
Yeah. That was one of the more fun ways to pub stomp, but it's been a while.
But I do like the Lifesteal's build. It looks like he's going to the Death Zone now. He's actually going for some damage this game. Picked up the drums just for, I don't know, why not? Just some move speed, some stats. Can't be bad, but Roshan's next on the list for Dignitas.
And unfortunately, with Panda ult down, there is no way to fight. Their team fight is very reliant on his ult.
And one thing I don't like as well, what I wanted to mention, was I do not like this mech pickup on the Nature's Prophet. Like, I would have rather seen him do the, the cute Shadow Blade build and just split push, be annoying, and get some physical damage going. Because when you're behind, I don't think a mech is the item you want on a Nature's Prophet. I think mech is an item on Nature's Prophet that you get when you're ahead and you want to, further get ahead, get some towers with it, and just kind of push.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of inclined to agree. Oh, here we go. Blanket clap away too sexy. He will get burst down. Now onto Fog, who is in trouble. Will drop quickly. The cooldown slow will be there. The RP will be there as well. Catches out 3. Rubik not able to steal anything good. Just the rocket barrage. Now Nawaya manned up upon, brought down by the big bear, and Prophet with the mech. Thought about TPing and said, hell no, I'm pushing top.
Yeah. There's some really great RPs from Snaking this game. I think every single RP he's done has been pretty good this game. He just stopped Panda twice early game. He got 2 kills on top lane really early. That's his second, third man RP of the game.
And he gave up first blood earlier to, of all heroes, the Panda, who had that huge advantage, but has really not been able to capitalize on it. And the other thing about the mech pickup is there's so much burst on Dignitas that even if Prophet tries to TP at a mech, by the time he does so, everyone may be dead with RP, cooldown, flat cannon, a crap load of AoE, and more coming as the Radiance is now online.
Yeah, like this mech hasn't done anything yet, and it's already getting to a stage of the game where the mech just... I see a lot of people do this. A lot of supports as well. They buy mech really late into the game. There comes a point in the game where mech is just, it's not the good item to have anymore. It's just like, it gets outdated pretty easily. Like the 30-minute mech on you see some supports buy. I'd much rather see like a Ghost Scepter or something in most cases, because it just doesn't survive. It's not enough HP heal to really help you late game when there's this much damage available.
Yeah, I mean, even something like the Yule Scepter for the Lone Druid Bear, I mean, sure you have Panda, but it doesn't hurt to have a little extra control, and, well, they're not going for it, so... Here comes the smoke gank. They're heading towards the dire jungle, but there are 4 heroes grouped up here. Actually 5. Fighting this would be rather dangerous. And I don't know if they're actually going to do it. Maybe just looking to plant some wards and get the hell out.
Yeah, Dignitas is about to hit a huge wave of big items. Like right now they have a BKB up on Magnus when he wants to purchase it in Universe, as well as going to have his BKB up along with the Radiance just finished. So if they don't defend this top tower, which they may be hesitant to do, they're going to have 2 BKBs up. And that's going to be pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you don't have to worry about the Panda ult anymore. You could get your RP off, no problem. Can't be Boulder Tossed, can't be Cyclone, anything like that. They do have the Prophet Bomb, but if he TPs into the middle of this, this may be trouble. Dignitas not even going to wait for those big items, it looks like. Just going to force the fight top, take the tier 2, and now Aoi pushing mid while the rest of the team rotates, or top while the rest of the team rotates mid, and Hawaii OO finds a wild gyrocopter, will throw his life away in the end, and now sentries as well as observers deployed in the lane. Mid and Dignitas just... I mean, one thing that we haven't seen is the Prophet Lifestealer combo. You mentioned it's a cute combo, but now it gets hard to find the openings because they're always 5-man.
Yeah, it's too late in the game now where they have too many items. They're just going to 5-man and just go for Raxus. They're not going to wait for the BKBs, probably because they just have the Aegis and they just want to use it. I'm assuming that's the only reason there. And Earthshaker has a Blink Dagger. I don't know if 3D Max saw this Blink Dagger or not, but it's available on
this could be an opening here. Buller caught out by Snakeheat. Oh no, Earthshaker with the Blink as well, but there is a Lifestealer here. RP, his first missed RP of the game, and Lifestealer says, hello sir, you're in a lot of trouble now. There is no skewer, he will go down. The first missed RP, and maybe a slight turn of the tides here for 3D Max. Aoi might be the next one in a little bit of trouble as we see Nawaya rotating towards mid. There is an observer spotting this rotation, and he will wisely head up into his own jungle. And the chase comes, but not fast enough, it looks like. Maybe it is. Nawaya? No, can't quite get in range.
Lone Druid's a really fast hero once he has, you know, the Rabid maxed out. It's at 425 move speed with Trankles.
Yeah, and that's even in Big Bear form, too. Just really fast. We're going on the tier 2 mid, and knowing RP is down.
They got the Blink on ES, though. They got the double ults on this lineup.
And that's a lot of creeps grouped up. He's looking to go, call down to fly. Oh, actually going to scare them off from what could have been a big Echo Slam opening, but the bear charges in. Now Lifestealer manning up on Aoi, wait for the blink. He will throw the fissure first. He's looking for it. He's looking for it. He can't find it yet. Aoi goes down. Still no blink. Still no RP. Or Echo, rather. Now the Panda ult deployed. Fog next in line. The turnaround seems to be coming. Buyback forced out from Aoi. Immediately back into the game. Magnus thrown up in the air, controlled by her Panda. And a great fight. Just... I didn't see if his Blink Dagger got cancelled, but way too sexy, just never found an opening.
Yeah, I think he had an opening to go, but he wanted to wait for the Rage to go down on Lifesteal, and by that time it was just too late.
Well, misses the opportunity. They give up a couple of kills. Buller on the run, maybe the trade here. He's up to 4K, so the Sight Device, Orchid not going to be helpful at this point with the BKB on Mag, but I imagine we'll see that Sight Device relatively soon.
Hey, either that, he goes back for the Shadow Blade. We'll see.
Oh no! This is reminding me a lot of our Bane from last game. Hawaii just keeps on getting caught out. Great defensive fissure by the Rubik, actually going to save the poor Lena's life.
Yeah, that's another great skill to steal as a Rubik. Fissure is one of the best abilities you can get as a Rubik. The instant cast time on it makes Fissure so good.
And they know Panda ult is on cooldown, so it's going to come down to a Rubik now. He's got to steal RP, or maybe just hit a massive fissure, steal cooldown, something like that. But the push is coming mid, and Nawaya actually forcing some reactions. He'll TP back to base. He's rather poor, to be honest. Did he buy back at some point, and I missed it? Ooh. Oh, no, he's got Desolator. Okay, just delivered to him.
Okay.
I was going to say, I thought he had a little more farm than that. But with the Deso up, well, it'll help. But Aoi has gone for something he loves on his Lunger. Really popular in Europe is that armlet. You get the additional armor on the bear, and, well, now the Desolator won't be quite as obnoxious.
Yeah, and I don't even know. That armlet build just seems stupid to me. This armlet bear.
It's also, he went for it late. I mean, I feel like when you go this build, it's something you get because you can get it early and cheaply, but he went Radiance, and normally that's more of the, let's get Assault Cars, let's get some big items up on our Lone Druid.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally hate the armlet bear, but whatever. It's just, first of all, it's just like, it makes no sense, and that's the main reason I don't like it. Like, the bear glows, it doesn't lose HP, and it's cool, I guess.
It's like, it's not really the armlet. Like, he's not using an armlet because he can't armlet toggle. He doesn't get the HP.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the degen. It just kind of has more damage and attack speed.
Awesome.
Yeah, a little bit weird. Here comes the backstab from
And he
Joe
gets the
Rotten.
glow.
Oh no, he's chosen the Sentry Ward to stand right next to him. Will be spotted right now. He's looking for a blink opening. Not going in just yet, but thinking of it. Thinking of it. Gyro's going to start the fight on him, I think. Oh, there's your Drunken Haze on the bear. Can't be pulled back. Now it's just going to walk away. Meanwhile, Buller, Ultimate Orb up, Sight the Vice coming soon. But Joe Rotten had that backstab opportunity. They give up the tier 2. I'm not sure why they're actually contesting this territory anymore, but looks like they'll back off.
Run from the purple bear.
And the purple glowing. it's I mean, if you like your cosmetics, this is like your World of Warcraft bear, basically. It's all swagged out.
It really is. Anyway, we got a split push on top. He's going for the Hex. He actually has it if he wants to get it. And I think at this point, he needs to just go get it. They need items to fight with. Buyback isn't going to be as crucial as like getting a key Hex on, let's say, for example, either the Gyro before he gets his BKB off, or more importantly, the Mag before he gets RP off if you can burst him.
And they have some good bursts now with the Desolator up on the Lifestealer and the Prophet. If he gets the Hex off, they may be able to just kill him. And oh, here we go. Infest Bomb from Joe Rotten. He's also glowing purple. Everybody has a lightsaber. Bottom lane is pushed into the base, so this is extremely suspicious, and Dignitas are not having any of it.
Yeah, that's one small thing as well, like the purple glow. I'm pretty sure enemies can see that, so it's like if they have any vision of that, it's like, there's a Lifestealer in here. So
are you sure? Because if they can, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can because I played a pub game and I was in an in-house league and I asked the other team, "Can you see this?" And we tested, like, yeah, we can see the purple glow. So we asked the enemies, of course, and they said they could see it. So I'm pretty sure, unless I was getting trolled in that game, which I doubt I was, they can see that. So it's better to turn your armlet off before you infest.
Ice Frog, fix, please. Bear just being a nuisance bottom lane, constantly pushing it in. And 3D Max, well, they have their Nature's Prophet. He's got the Scythe of Ice up, but here comes the big 5-man. There's smoke behind the bear. This one, not quite as obvious as what we saw before, as the lanes are more reasonably pushed out.
I don't think they'll do this, considering Roche is almost up.
Yeah,
I think they're just trying to get map controlled and just go burst Roche down really quick.
Yeah, maybe hoping someone from 3D Max will be a little bit foolish and be too aggressive on him, but not going to happen in the end. And with this Aegis, I imagine Dignitas is going to look to try and break the base, at least get one lane of Rex off of it. So far, actually not really seen anybody quite break through. Gold-wise, it's pretty even. Only a 5,000 gold lead right now for the Dire, about 6,000 experience lead. They do have more carries. Universe isn't insanely farmed yet. He's got a Chrysalis up, but still not really at that point where the Gyro is going to mow down the entire enemy team.
Which is also really interesting. Why does he get a Chrysalis over MKB? Oh, they're gonna jump.
Infest Bomb to start, but the RP was there. Did he get the Panda ult off? Oh my god, that's a calamity of a fight. And now this may be...
They didn't get Panda ult off. They didn't get Rage off on Nags. So he just melted the AoE damage. So everything that could have went wrong, it went wrong there.
And if they don't have buyback, they may be losing Rax right now. No, I guess Dignitas is gonna back. Prophet has something to say about that, but... Jeez, they need more items, and they're not getting them after those 2 deaths.
They're 3. Panda at this point doesn't, like, he can get a decent ult off, sure, but he's not going to be carrying any fight whatsoever just by, like, raw damage from his Pandas. They're too tanky at this point, and he doesn't have the Scepter up, and he's definitely not even close to 16.
Yeah, and the Fire Panda's just going to melt. There's so much physical damage.
Exactly. And the reason I don't like this Chrysalis choice on Universe here is I think he really would benefit from MKB so much more, especially against a Panda, because he has that high dodge percentage, and if he does manage to get his Drunken Haze off on you, then you're not going to get any shots off at all. So, and the crit doesn't even work on your flat cannon, I'm almost certain on that.
Yeah, it even says it in the description. It only works on the main target, and I mean, he does a BKB to remove Drunken Haze, so I suppose that's something, but... the big, like, with Gyrocopter, you really just want to maximize the efficiency of those 6 flat cannon shots. It seems like that's the best way to play them in most cases, and... Well, in spite of that, I think Dignitas is still in a reasonably comfortable position right now, but some interesting item choices.
And one thing, the reason why you see MKB almost all the time on Gyro is, you can actually miss flat cannon attacks on single targets. Like, if you miss it on your first hit, it can hit others, which means you can miss on hill on random targets. and whatnot. With MKB, you can't. And they're actually going to do this again.
Oh no, Panda ult. This time he gets it off. Way too sexy on the run. Hacks up on Buller, who TP's in ROTK style into the middle of the enemy team. Drops the mech. Doesn't do a whole lot. RP stolen by Hip Hop, not Pop. Catches 3. Holds them in place. Now the cooldown stolen. Now the RP from Snakehead is used. He's still got his BKB. Good damage done. 3 heroes dead. Has to Jara and skewered back in. Hip Hop, no Pop did everything he could. I mean, he stole RP, he stole cooldown, he threw them both into the fight, but just too much beef on the side of Dignitas.
Yeah, it was really good from that Rubik there. Just a little too late from his team, because right now, at this stage of the game, they're too tanky. That's simply all there is to it. There's just too much farm going the way of Dignitas.
And unfortunately, I mean, we saw earlier, Lysto's really slipped behind. He's 5k net worth behind the off-lane Lone Druid on the side of Dignitas, and the towers are even at this point. It's just basically kills, Roshan Gold, and creeps, and obviously the Radiance build is going to accelerate your farm a lot more than the drums treads on a Lifestealer. And now they look to break the base. Lone Druid Bear on the front lines. This feels like it might be a really hard fight for 3D Max. They won't have the Panda ult. RP, of course, is going to be up fairly soon, not for a little while, but they can chip away at this with the Bear. They were pushing 2 heroes as 5 are just coming online, and get the free tier 3, now Dignitas will back off.
Or they're gonna group up and go again.
Let's see what they do. They're thinking about it.
Almost certain they're gonna go again, because they still have the Aegis up on the Bear. He's just gonna send the Bear back to get a little HP heal, I guess. Wait a little bit, get the second Bear up, which is almost off cooldown, have that for the next fight. They're just gonna attempt a Rax here. RP is up in 5 seconds as well.
And Rubik doesn't have it anymore. He stole cooldown at the end of the last fight. I don't think he would have been able to keep it up this long anyway, but...
Yeah, it would have expired by now, so he needed a new spell. Cooldown's a great spell to have, too.
Let's see, the Panda ult still won't be here for quite a while. 30 seconds. They're working on the tower. Their glyph forced out. Prophet frantically trying to split push, but started doing it maybe a little bit late. Rax is going to fall uncontested. A cooldown casually flung out there, but now Dignitas going immediately towards bottom lane. And no glyph.
There's not much 3D Max can do. Like, unless Dignitas really slips up, they're just gonna pick their base apart. And there's just they can just watch.
And now with
that's about it.
And now with the Daedalus on Universe, this hurts the supports too. Here comes our Infest bomb.
Yeah, it's 1 second on Panda ults. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah, but 2 racks down, and Dignitas says, right on cue, I think it's time to back, guys, because Panda probably has his ult. That was a nicely executed push, and, I mean, without Panda ult, it's something we talked about basically at the beginning of this draft, is 30 Max can't really fight without that.
No, they really can't. So, like, they really need the Panda ult, but at this point in the game, the Panda ult doesn't even feel like much. Gyrocopter's just going to use his flat cannon, and, well, there goes all your Pandas.
Yeah, maybe the Earth Panda lives a little bit longer, but the Fire Panda's dead, the Wind Panda's dead, almost instantly.
Yeah. That was a pretty decent hero late game versus Panda.
Yeah, the flat cannon's super obnoxious. The spells don't do anything really, but, I mean, the flat cannon hits like a truck.
Yeah, when you have these items, yeah, they definitely do. He's got Empower on him, too.
TP away from Muller. He's been trying to stall the game. He's getting closer to more farm, 2,600 gold, but it feels like a game where your Prophet needs to be 6-slotted to be able to out-carry what Dignitas, because, I mean, like you said, they have Empower too, and they have the harder carries in the Lone Druid, as well as the Gyrocopter. And I don't...
Yeah, you haven't felt it, have you, Prophet's presence in this game?
No, I don't feel his power.
It has part to do with his builds. Like, he has a build where he's supposed to... Like, in his mind, he's like, okay, I'm going to build these items because there's going to be a point in this game where I'm going to go help the team. But it's just... There has been no opening for that.
The one fight where he came in and TP mech that I recall was the fight mid, where he TP'd in behind enemy lines, basically classic ROTK style, pops the mech and then dies anyway. Like the Suicide Bomber Prophet. But unfortunately, it wasn't setting anything up. And it's like you said, the mech just doesn't do much after a certain point, and
yeah, he split pushes really slow. He has no Maelstrom, he has no damage. It's just the split push is there. It's just really slow. He's built to help his team in the team fights, which just aren't happening.
Here we go. Snakehead looked for the RP right as our Panda actually blinked in. He'll drop it now, and look at those Pandas. No, the Panda aspects die in like 3 seconds. And that's all she wrote for 3D Max. There is just no recovering from that. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I've ever seen a Panda ult melt faster than that.
Yeah, that's Empower and Gyrocopter, Cleave galore.
Oh, and I think even the bear had some power action.
Yeah,
so-
the bear had Empower, and I think the Gyro did as well. Just
Yikes. Well, Fear, this was a bit of a stomp. 3D Max getting knocked down to the losers bracket once again. Seemed like they had an okay draft, but just the execution of it in the mid game, or in the early game wasn't there, and then their mid game didn't really have the openings. Our first pan okay, but 17 minutes in, and while it was reasonably effective, they got a tier 2, it felt like it was too little too late. Dignitas, 1 game away now from taking first place in Group G.
yeah, I haven't really seen Nakes played as the one really win in these late game scenarios. It's just too difficult.
And, like,
he always gets kited around and just gets out carried pretty easily.
And, well, North American, European Dota games, they do seem like they tend to go late. I mean, I guess unless it's Navi, but who have been forcing a lot of early game fights in some of their matches. But, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this game. We have 3 more matches headed your way in Group G of the We Play Dota 2 League. The next one is going to be Natalic EU versus 3D Max, and then the winner of that will move on. They'll be 1 game away from playing for that second place spot. But as for Dignitas, they're 1 game away from first. Group G action continues after this. Fear, you still with me, or what's your schedule?
Let me check real quick.
Okay.
I'll let you know in like 5 minutes.
All right. In case you have to go, any shout-outs, anything you want to plug?
Oh, just my Twitter, Fear Dota. Always enjoy having multiple followers there.
Yeah, a few followers is not a bad thing to have. Guys, be sure to follow him. Fear Dota on Twitter. As for me, LD Dota. Stay tuned. We have more WePlay.tv Dota 2 League action coming up next.